How would I address the inconsistent in all levels within the school system? First of all, the,
Yes, okay, so if elected, how would you address the inconsistency and turnover at all levels of school administration?
okay, I would address it, one way that I feel I can address it, the inconsistency has to start with the board. It's too much inconsistency with the board. The board has to get on the same page and the same goals and the same efforts for the betterment of the schools. Also, it should be a evaluation process. We should evaluate people on merit. What they do and how well they do the job is on merit and not on personal relationships. We can disagree to disagree, but it's all about the children. And if I disagree with you and don't like what you say, then I should not feel that I lose my job the next day. It's about merit. If you have a valuation system in process, you hold the people accountable, the superintendent, the board, the superintendent, the principals who's in the school and administration, and if that is set in effect and you're consistent, we'll eliminate a lot of these problems that take place. And then we'll show true leadership with our students.
Okay, I've only served on the board for 6 months, and I've observed one thing, that when people are dismissed, it's usually for cause. Okay? Then they don't just haphazardly let somebody go. They've done something wrong as teachers or
Hello.
administrators.
Can we be respectful? Thank you.
You want me to?
So it's you.
Okay. So, to refer to your question, there is a turnover. Things are mishandled, and when they are, you have to be accountable. So the school board attempts to account for the errors that they're going to be responsible for through somebody else. Okay, so the school board has responsibility. Let's put that playing field kind of level and know that it's not one-sided. It's two-sided, okay? I got 30 seconds, but I'll give
To improve consistency and turn over Hempstead.
Thank you.
To improve consistency and turnover in Hempstead, I think it must first start with the school board. We all need to be on the same page as far as educating the students. My message to children counts. So once the school board gets on the same page, it will be a trickle-down effect. We do need to hold our administrators accountable, and we need to be more focused on progress and consistency. The young lady stated that she's concerned about mentorship. Well, in the schools, we need to make sure that the school is having an environment of education. So whether they're in the class, if they're passing the class, or after school, we need to make sure that we're on the same page from the school board on down. And that's educating the school, educating our students in our schools and making sure they have everything that they need to success in the long run.
If in 2005, you have an administration that didn't provide results, why we have to bring that administration back in 9 years after? That is one of the main problems that we have in Hempstead. We don't have continuity and we don't have the same goal. The goal it should be the children and should be education for all. We have the tendency to forget what is the main role of the board. The school board, it should be the strong bridge that communicates with the parents, with the community, and hold accountable administration to make sure that the money that we entrust in them, the budget that we are giving them to make it work, to have the educational results, is well used. But in this case, in Hempstead, we are not holding accountable. We are not making sure that every single dollar is accounted for. When this happens, the results are going to be very, very different. Right now, we are doing things without the approval of parents. The perfect example was last year when they closed the academy. They have a press conference saying that we are having better results this year. And they forgot to mention that the class of 2014 was the result of the academies that they were implemented 3 years ago to help the students. And they closed without any information for the parents, without any approval for the community, and without
Thank
any
you.
results to show that they should be closed.
I believe that the education culture here in Hempstead is broken, damaged. I believe that we can do something as it relates to the turnover rate if in fact evaluations were done fairly. I believe that evaluations are important, but I think that evaluations have to be done the right way. I don't think that personal attitudes have anything to do with what we do in education. If in fact our children are truly the reason that we're in education in the first place. I believe that we have to have those 5 people that are sitting at that table that I was referring to earlier, to be able to make those decisions strictly based on what's best for the community and the children in this community. It has nothing to do with who I like or what they do, what they look like, or anything of that nature. And I think that if we can get back there, because I know that there are some very competent folk who are sitting up there at that table. And I keep going back to this, but it's so important to come out and voice your opinions on May 20th so we can get back to the business of educating the children here in Hempstead. It's about them. It is not about who I might like, who I might not like, or who did what. It's about being held accountable
Thank you,
and doing what you've got to do.
thank you.
When you go home this evening, and if you have a computer or if you have your cell phone today, or you have your tablet, I want you to go to the school district website. And it says Hempstead Union Free School District, Section 9000 personnel. The Board of Education recognizes that a dynamic and efficient staff dedicated to education is necessary to maintain a constantly improving educational program. The board is interested in its personnel as individuals, and it recognizes its responsibility for promoting the general welfare of the staff. And then it says this, to develop, how are we going to keep good people? To develop and implement those strategies and procedures for personnel recruitment, screening, and selection, which will result in employing the best available candidates, i.e. those with the highest capabilities, the strongest commitment to quality education, and the greatest probability of effectively implementing the district's learning policy. If we go back to the policies that were established, we can eradicate the turnover.